All right, and welcome in, everybody. Hope y'all are having a fantastic, fantabulous, awesome freaking day. My name is Garrett Shoemaker, and this is the SHOUTOUT coming at you with my Week 11 predictions. Don't have a lot to talk about to start this episode. No housekeeping or any updates or all that sort. So let's just jump straight into it and talk about some ball. Week 11 is going to be very interesting for me because the week isn't all great. Like, there's some stinker games in here, if I'm being honest with you, but there's also plenty of high stakes games. I'm talking typical divisional matchups, all that have their own individual high stakes in of itself. I'm talking about playoff seeding implications, straight up bloodbath football. Talking about games that are going to be ugly, games that are going to be close, games that are going to be fun. Talking about football that is the best of the best. And I think that we're going to get that here in Week 11. So one thing about my top 5 games of the week, 4 out of my top 5 are divisional matchups, and all 5 of them reflect everything that I just told you about this week of football. Other than the best game of the week, number 1 for me, for the first time, games 2 through 5 really aren't in any particular order for once. Normally, when I make my top 5 games, like, in my mind, these are definitively my top 5 games in order, that way set in stone. This week, it was so hard to pick that honestly, I decided that, you know what, for maybe like for this reason, this goes here, I kind of just threw it in, because I genuinely can't, in my mind, pick which ones genuinely are better than the other. And there's also a couple games that did not make the cut that I also decided to leave out that were very well in contention to be in the top 5. I'll tell you one spoiler, that Bucks Bills is not in my top 5. And while a lot of people would think, why is it not in your top 5? That's a highly anticipated matchup between 2 really good football teams, and I would agree. And like, it is. And I'm hoping it doesn't come back to bite me. But I got a feeling about the Bucks and Bills, which we'll talk about more once we get to it, where I don't know. Like, I don't have a great feeling about it, but I also acknowledge, like, this very well could be the best game of the week. And so if it comes back and bites me, I'll be the first one to come here and tell you that it does. So that is kind of where we're working with my top 5 games of the week. Going into the week, though, last week, I should say, in my predictions, I went 8-6. So once again, another positive week. We're stacking right now. We're doing pretty good. This brings my total prediction record to 87-60. So within these next couple of weeks, maybe this week, if I do really good, if I get 13 right, we'll be at 100, and that would be fantastic. So here's the hoping for that. And then also teams that are on bye week, only 2 this week, the Saints and the Colts. Both of them came off with pretty big wins in their own right, so they get to go into their bye week feeling a little happy, feeling good, you know what I'm saying? Get a good win, get a week off, rest and recuperate, and feel good and get ready to get back in the building next Monday. But with that being said, let's talk about it. Let's break down my top 5 games of the week. Let's not stall it any longer. As we always say, it is time to let it preview. Starting with number 5, we got the Lions and Eagles on Sunday Night Football, a tale of 2 sides of a high record coin, where Denver, why did I mention Denver? We'll talk about Denver in here in a moment. But for the Lions, they are a hot football team. They're fun to watch. They're exciting. They've won by multiple scores in multiple games. And then we got Philly, where they also have a really good record. But a lot of their teams, and all of their wins, they've had to drag through the mud. They've been one score. They haven't always been pretty. It's a tale of 2 sides. So in a situation like this, who comes out on top here? Well, the Eagles are at home, so that helps. But for the Lions, how are you going to beat Philly on the road on Sunday night? Key one is starting fast and getting up early. The Eagles have been in one-score games for all but one of their wins, and most of them have not been very pretty, like I just said. So if you can apply early pressure, you can probably crack the Eagles. It's possible. This is a vulnerable football team. Don't let their 7-2 record fool you. Look at the stats. Look at the game. The Eagles are not as dominant, nowhere near as dominant as they were last year. You can punch them in the mouth. So if you can get up early and get a quick jab, maybe throw a heavy punch early, that'll help your chances a lot. And then key 2, limit A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Maybe a little bit more A.J. Brown, because A.J. Brown this week has been disgruntled. He's been unhappy, talking about how he's throwing 9 catches, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns in Madden, and saying, get rid of me on your fantasy team. And he's talked with the owner apparently about these problems. He's not a happy man. So guess what? If you limit him, because they're probably going to try and give him more touches, I guarantee you, they're probably going to feed him the ball a little bit in this game. Stop him, and you might have yourselves a chance to win this ball game even more and make him even more frustrated. And key 3, third down battle. If you want to get into actual statistics for this matchup, they got to win the third down battle because the Lions are better, but this is where Philly dragged Green Bay through the mud and they were able to come up with the upset and a 10-7 win. So if you can take care of your business on third down, that keeps Jalen Hurts off the field and keeps your explosive offense on the field for what? Longer. So win the third down battle, limit A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and start fast, get up early, and you will win this game. But for Philly, how are they going to do it? It's going to be good old-fashioned breaking this team down. Number 1, get penetration. Slow down Gibbs, slow down Jared Goff. The point of key 2, which I'll talk about, I'll say it right here, break down the Lions bit by bit and hammer away. These two keys going hand in hand with each other because the Lions, this is not a team that you're just gonna do what you got to do to win. Like, you can't just have your way with the Lions team. Not the Eagles, not right now. So the only way you're going to be able to beat them is if you hammer away. You slow down Gibbs. In turn, what does that do? Slow down Jared Goff. That slows down Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams and Sam Laporta. Like, instead of it being trying to shut the whole thing down at once, imagine if you're like a spy and you're infiltrating into somewhere. You don't just go to the main breaker and just shut everything off, right? Doesn't always work like that, right? Maybe you don't know where that breaker's at. So what do you need to do first? Cut the lights, make it go dark, and then cut the security cameras so you can't be tracked. Then take down a guard or two, and then you get to the breaker room, and bam, the whole thing shuts down, and you have free reign to do what you want. In this hypothetical thievery or spy scenario, not thievery, spy. But that's how the Eagles are going to have to approach this game. Shutting down, getting penetration up the middle that slows down Jared Goff, that slows down Jahmyr Gibbs, and then slowly but surely, you just pick away at every weapon that the Lions have, and eventually, you neutralize the whole thing. Almost like a Thanksgiving meal. You work on your turkey, you work on your veggies and your sides, and then you work on the pumpkin pie, and before you know it, everything's gone and your belly is full. So think about it like that. That's how the Eagles are going to have to approach this game. And then key 3, simply don't get down by 17 points or more. I know that 17 points is kind of a done deal in most situations if you're down that much in the NFL. But also, I mean, the Eagles, a 17-point deficit is not like a deal breaker or anything. If you go down 17-0 in the first quarter, you can come back from that. That's workable. But now if you go down 17-0 in the fourth quarter, that's a different problem. So you don't want to get down by 17 points or more at all, because if the Lions are up that much, that pretty much means that they've got your number, and at that point, it just makes it that much harder to stop. So gotta make sure that you don't get down by 17 points. Ultimately, who do I have winning this game? Give me Detroit. I'm riding with Detroit right now. I think they have the hot hand. I think they're the more explosive football team. I think they can do more on offense and defense than Philly. They've proven that so far this year, and I think that remains the same. I think Philly's going to make some good plays, and they're going to keep this interesting, but Lions are going to be the ones that emerge on top. Now we move to number 4 in the battle of the roars. The roar of the bear, or the rare of the horn. Bears Vikings in their rematch from week 1. This is going to be fun because week 1 was very interesting. It had ups and downs. J.J. McCarthy had a late comeback to win the game, so the Bears are trying to get some revenge. So how are they going to do that? Number 1, they got to utilize DeAndre Swift more. One thing the Vikings have not been good at, and we've talked about a lot on this show, is that the Vikings are not good at stopping running backs. So DeAndre Swift, I want him to have a more focal point, or I want him to be more of a focal point in the offense, so that way everything else can open up. And considering the Vikings have not been able to stop him very well, you know what? Here's a perfect time to take advantage. You look at what the Ravens did last week. They ran the ball well as a team. Do that here, and that really helps you out. And then number 2, limit the big plays on defense. Not just because you're going up against Justin Jefferson, which we'll talk about when we talk about Minnesota. But the thing is, the Bears' defense has been problematic. They've allowed big plays. They've allowed drives to sustain for far too long. You got to be able to limit the big plays and the deep shots down the field that break your back. If it's one thing that will keep Minnesota in this game, it's the deep shots. Look at New England. Look at what they're doing right now and see how well that's working out for them. The same thing applies here. And while Caleb Williams, I think the offense overall has the ability to get into a shootout, you don't want to get into a shootout. You don't want to run that risk. So if you can just take care of your business and execute, that will help your offense a lot more do what they need to do, considering that DeAndre Swift is going to take such a point of emphasis in this game. And then key 3, this is going to be the same thing for both teams. I think it's going to apply getting the ball last. I know it's one I've used before, but the thing is, in a situation like this, with 2 young, talented quarterbacks against defenses that are not all that great, whoever gets the ball last probably has a chance to win this game, whether it's on a game-winning drive or it's this winning team gets the ball back and they go and run the clock out. Like, whoever finishes with the ball to end the game will probably win it for their team in one way or another. I guess that doesn't really make sense, because regardless, yeah, I guess, kind of. I think you guys get the point that I'm trying to make here. But now moving to Minnesota, number 1 is feeding Justin Jefferson. I mean, this is an obvious one for me, because you got to feed him. Because against the Bears defense, he should feast on those corners. So I want him to get the ball early and often. I'm talking about 4 targets at least in the first quarter, maybe 6 or 7 in the first half. You've got to get him the ball. This is an opportunity for Justin Jefferson to go nuts against a subpar defense, one of the best receivers in the league. This is a divisional opponent. There is every reason for Justin Jefferson to have a bounce-back game here, considering that he didn't play well against Baltimore. He needs this. J.J. McCarthy needs this. Their offense needs this. He needs to be fed, so I want him to get the ball a lot in this football game. And then key 2, gotta contain Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, very recently at least, has been very good playing outside of structure, making plays outside of the pocket, making people miss, rolling out, and making a throw on the run. He's done really good, especially against the Giants. He was fantastic. So you got to be able to contain him, maintain your gap integrity, make sure that he does not roll out, because he's got weapons galore that will make you pay. DJ Moore and Luther Burden got speed. Roman Dunze, him and Caleb got great chemistry right now. So it's also Colson Loveland, take that into account, and Cole Kmet. I mean, a whole bunch of things can go wrong if you let Caleb Williams break, contain, and get out of the pocket. And one thing they did really well in week 1 was containing him for most of the game. So if you can repeat that same formula, that will definitely help keep the Bears offense in check. And that way things don't get ahead or get behind you or get too far to the sidelines and break you down that way as well. And then key 3, again, get the ball last. The same thing I said for Minnesota applies for Minnesota, or Chicago applies for Minnesota here. So get the ball last, and that will help your chances, and at least put the ball in your offense's hands where your team is better. So now we will move over west to number 3, where the Chiefs and Broncos, can they keep their streak alive? And let me tell you something. This might be interesting. Oh, I forgot to say, sorry, that I had the Bears beating the Vikings and getting their revenge. So, for the record, that's my pick for the Bears Vikings game. I apologize. Now back to Chiefs Broncos. The Chiefs on the road in this game. What's the first key of victory for them? Number 1 is don't go backwards. Don't get in long down and distance at any point. Don't get in 1st and 15. Don't get a penalty that gets you in 1st and 20, 1st and 15. Don't get in 2nd and long, 3rd and long. Doesn't matter. Why? Because that is a perfect scenario for the team that leads the league in sacks this year to pick off on Patrick Mahomes and tee off on him, and makes it easier for them to do their job. So don't get behind the sticks at all. I know you can't avoid it. It's inevitable. It's the NFL, right? But minimizing those situations that favor the defense for Denver helps you out a lot in staying on schedule. And then key number 2, one way to help keep you in out of long situations, other than, not committing a bunch of penalties, is spreading the ball around. I want to see Travis Kelce get some catches, Noah Gray get some catches, Worthy, Rice, Smith-Schuster. I mean, everyone's got to get involved here a little bit, because the Denver Broncos defense is really good. And one thing that, if you're going against a good defense, that I like to do is spread the ball around, get a bunch of people involved, kind of throw the kitchen sink at Denver's defense, because something, if you're good enough, which the Chiefs are very well good enough, something can pop. You don't need what you normally, like the Chiefs run their offense how they run it, right? But sometimes against a good defense, that's not always the case. You want something to pop if you throw everything in the kitchen sink, and something might. So Andy Reid's a good offensive line. He can probably figure something out. So if you can spread the ball around, something might pop off for you. And then key 3, stop the run. Because the Broncos, one thing they've been good at has been running the ball. What they've not been very good at, what they've been inconsistent, is getting a passing game going. If you can stop the run, it just makes it that much harder. And considering that Steve Spagnuolo can do this, he can stop the run, he can stop the pass, he's a good DC. I think that there's a good chance that if you stop the run, then this offense for Denver is going to fall apart, and that's going to put a lot more pressure on this defense for Denver if you can spread the ball around and you can not get in long situations that favor them. Then for Denver, number 1, like I talked about with number 3 for Denver or for Kansas City, their offense just needs to step up. The offense has not been good enough. And against Kansas City, this is your big bad wolf. You're a couple games ahead in the division right now. A win right here would be absolutely massive for winning it so far down the stretch. Considering you got to play the Chiefs again too, and the next one's in Kansas City, it's not very favorable for you. So this win is almost a must-win for Denver. Probably the most important win out of all their games so far in their win streak. So the offense needs to step up. They don't even need to be great. They just need to move the ball better than what they have been and at least help their defense out. Because if Kansas City can pick off on this defense and slowly whittle them away, the win streak will slowly whittle away along with it. And then key 2 for containing Patrick Mahomes, maintain your gap integrity on defense. And I want to highlight that specifically because it doesn't matter how good your defense is. If you let Patrick Mahomes roll out of the pocket, make a couple men miss, if you let him extend plays and play outside of structure, he's the best in the league at it, guys. I mean, he's going to make you pay for it. So no matter how good you are. So if you maintain your gap integrity, whether it's on first down, second down, third down, no matter down the distance, if you stay in your lane, you will get to Patrick Mahomes and you will slow him down and prevent him from hurting your defense as the play breaks down. And then key 3, got to get some takeaways. The Broncos have been better as of late with getting takeaways, but just compared to the start of the year, they were much better, in a much better place than they were then. They were not good to start the year. So get a couple of takeaways, steal a couple possessions. That'll help your offense get going theoretically and help take some pressure off your defense as well as they continue to step up and make big plays. Ultimately, who do I have winning? I have Denver winning. I had them winning this game going into the year, and for me, I don't think that's changed. They're on a really hot winning streak. They're at home. Last year, it was won by a blocked field goal by Kansas City. It was so close. I think this is the game that Denver gets one over on Kansas City. And what is it? Patrick Mahomes loses his, 8th or 9th divisional game in his career. So pretty insane stuff, but I think Denver has the guts to be able to pull it off in this game. Now we move further south to number 2, where we have the Panthers versus the Falcons in an all-or-nothing game for more than one team than the other. But for Carolina, this is important because if they get this win and Tampa loses, they will be tied for first in the division. So that's why that's important for them. If you want to be tied for Tampa for first in the division, that would be massive. Massive, not only for their playoff hopes, but also for their future, knowing that they can compete with the Bucs in this division. It's been the Bucs division for 4 straight years, and no one's really been able to compete in terms of going on down the stretch late into the year. It was supposed to be the Falcons, but they haven't done that, and they've been not very great this year. So for Atlanta, though, if they lose this game and suffer their 8th loss, their playoff hopes are finished. They're probably in the gutter at this point already. I guess mathematically they're not, but I mean, it is looking very bleak for them right now. But a loss right here against Carolina would slam the door, put a nail in the coffin, and at that point, your season is done. So for Carolina on the road, what do you got to do to win? Number 1, diversify your run game. We need to see more Chuba Hubbard. Since he's gotten hurt, Rico Dowdle has been the star. Chuba Hubbard's been taking a backseat role, and that's kind of disappointing for Chuba Hubbard because I'm a fan of Chuba Hubbard. But for Rico Dowdle, as a fan of him, I'm also ecstatic. It's like, wow, like, he was good. He's a good player. I mean, he showed it in Dallas last year, and I can't believe they let him walk. But at least, they had Javonte Williams, and he's playing well, so it's not like a big loss right now for them. But for Carolina, it's been all but a huge gain. But in this, since the Falcons are good at stopping the pass, and the Panthers haven't been good at it, and conversely, the Falcons have not been great stopping the run, they're probably going to try and sell it to stop it a little bit. So I want you to diversify your run game a little bit. Give it to Dowdle, give it to Hubbard, and let it, the run game kind of do its thing. I want to see about 30 total runs, not including any quarterback runs by Bryce Young, and about 120 to 150 yards. That's what I want to see. If Carolina wants to win, they're going to have to run the ball a lot and run it very, very well if they want a chance. And then key two, you're going to have to try and win with jabs and then throw a punch. Like I said, with running the ball, this is a jab, punch type of game plan, because you're not going to be able to throw the ball very much on the Falcons. You're not going to have a lot of success, I don't think. So if you can just get a 4-yard run here, 5-yard run here, and then just slowly just get in third and short, get first down, then just move the ball, eventually one of these runs is going to pop. It's going to pop. It's going to go for 20 yards, 30 yards or longer. And now you're talking about making big plays on offense, maintaining time of possession. And then when it comes down to it, those punches will come if you run the ball well. So that's how you're going to have to win it. And don't get impatient. Don't get hasty. Just do what you do best and whittle this defense down. They're not perfect. You can do things against this defense. You can have success. So just jab, and eventually you'll go throw a punch, and it probably will land. And then key three, you just got to limit the explosive plays. The Panthers defense has been up and down this year, and the Falcons have been able to move the ball. So if you allow explosive plays to happen down the field, what is that going to do? That's going to get the Falcons into the red zone. And what have the Falcons not been good at? Getting in the red zone and scoring points. So if you give them opportunities to correct what's been going wrong for them all year, that's going to put your backs against the wall and into a situation where if you get down and you have to put the ball in Bryce Young's hands way more often than he's running the ball, or than you're running the ball, that's not a favorable situation for you right now. So that's going to be important. And then going into Atlanta, the first key for them is scoring points. They cannot get away with scoring 21 or scoring 22. Like, that's not going to work. You need to score probably 24 points. Minimum, absolute minimum 24 points. Not because the Carolina Panthers score a bunch of points, not like because of that, but because the Falcons, they have not been able to get into the red zone and score touchdowns. They're one of the best offenses in the NFL in terms of total yards gained, but when it comes to red zone offense and it comes to scoring offense, I mean, they're near the bottom of the NFL. What does that mean? It means you're not scoring points. So they need to score points. They need to get some momentum, and if they can get some explosive plays, like I mentioned in key 3 for Carolina, that'll help them create more opportunities in the red zone. And then key 2, contain Dowdle and Hubbard. Like I mentioned, they're not good at stopping the run very much, but they're great at stopping the pass, and the only way Carolina is probably going to be able to win this game convincingly is if they run the ball well. So if you can slow that down and put more pressure on Bryce Young, that'll help you. That'll help your pass defense, which has been great all year, being put in a more favorable matchup. And then key 3, right? This is not really much of a key per se, but for more of a statement. But for Atlanta, at this point in their season, everything's on the table. The playoffs are through if you lose this game. So, I mean, it's essentially for them all or nothing. So if they lose this game, it's bye-bye for Atlanta. No chance of the playoffs for you this year. So now we will move to the true number 1 game, the one that stands above the all, another NFC West showdown for a second week in a row. We're talking about the Seahawks versus the Rams, 2 7-2 teams. And when I'm talking about high stakes, it doesn't get much higher than this, because whoever wins this game will probably walk away with the NFC's number 1 seed. Because if I'm correct, and Detroit beats Philly and they fall to 7-3, the winner of this game, not only will be first place in the NFC West, but will have sole control of first place in the NFC. And I know it's early, there's still plenty of games left, but being able to get that spot and hold it for at least a couple of weeks helps your chances out a lot at finishing in that spot. It's almost like a GPA in school. It's easier to get to that point and maintain it than it is to lose it, if that makes sense. I'm not fully explaining that properly. I don't think I am, but I think you guys get my point. Number 1 for Seattle. This is probably going to be a very low-scoring game if I had to guess, or it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be a medium game. It might be, but there's so many different ways this game could go. But if Seattle wants to go and get it in the right way, key 1, more people simply need to step up on offense. This is a very good Rams defense, let me tell you. And JSN has been phenomenal. He's probably going to be good in this game too. But the thing is, In the instance that the Rams have a good game plan and they slow down JSN, someone else, whether it's the Rashid Shaheed who they just traded for, whether it's rookie Torrey Horton, or Elijah Arroyo, someone, or the running backs, someone, I keep on mentioning people. Okay, I'm done. But someone needs to step up in this game. Someone else needs to be a high volume contributor and play well, because if you stop JSN, I have a fear that this offense might fall apart a little bit. And so, while it's been phenomenal, the offense has been explosive, it's been great, let's be honest, it's been kind of a one-trick pony at times, with JSN being practically the only target that consistently produces on offense week to week. So someone else, more people, need to step up if they want a chance against a good Rams defense. And T2, the Seahawks defense, pressure Matthew Stafford. I want to see a lot of press man. I want to see this guy's coverages, stuff that makes Matthew Stafford hold on to the ball. And I'm not talking about giving him time in the pocket. I'm talking about where you want to make him thread the needle between, do I throw this ball or do I hold the ball and take the sack? You want him to hold on that ball just enough to make that needle go, take sack, take sack, take sack, take sack. If you can just make him hold on to the ball and make him try and process a little bit longer and try to wait a little bit more and see if he can make that throw or not, you're going to get that ball on the ground potentially, and if you get a turnover on the Rams, that will also help your chances. And then key 3, this is the same for both teams in this instance, similar to key for game 3, Bears Vikings. It's not the same key, but it's the same key. Key 3 is the same for both. Every point's going to matter in this game. And really so much so where if there's a 2-point try that doesn't convert, or a missed extra point, a blocked field goal, anything from, starting goal and you don't get a touchdown, you settle for 3. Every point in this game will matter, because any point that is lost is a point that will probably lose you the game. So if you get in the red zone, score points, don't lose points, don't get turnovers. Like, every point is going to matter. Straight up, I mean, I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's true. It's true, and I know it's true for every game, of course. But in this one, in a high-stakes game like this, every little detail is that much more magnified. And for the Rams, how are they going to win? Well, on offense, you're going to have to out-scheme Mike McDonald. The thing is, their defense plays really well. They play consistent, they play disciplined, and quite frankly, this is muscle on muscle right now for both sides. But in terms of Sean McVay and his offense and Mike McDonald against his defense, this is muscle on muscle as much as it gets in the NFL. So if you are Sean McVay, you're going to have to outsmart Mike McDonald a little bit. I want you to just get a couple schemed up plays where you might get like a jet sweep, or you might get like a first down, quick dump off to a receiver and run in space, like stuff like that. Stuff like that just puts where you kind of put the Seahawks defense in your corner, you put them into a bad spot, and you make them look uncomfortable. That's kind of what the point is. And you can say the same thing for Seattle. Conversely, if you want to add a fourth key, but if you're going to beat Seattle's defense, you're going to have to out-scheme them a little bit. You're going to have to get some easy things on them that normally wouldn't be available to other teams that face Seattle this year. And then number 2, it's going to be a key until somebody does it. You got to contain JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. You have to. I mean, he is everything. He is almost literally everything for this Seahawks passing game and almost their entire offense. So if you can contain him and force other players to have to step up in the instance that they don't, that's going to help you out a lot. But Seattle, again, going back to their key, more people need to step up in this game in the instance that this happens. So that's going to be a big point of emphasis, looking at which battle right there, who comes out on top. And then key 3, like I said, every point matters. You don't want to lose opportunities to get points. You don't want to lose points when you have them. You can't. You absolutely can't. Too many games are where there's 1 point lost, whether it's a blocked extra point, missed extra point, whatever. Even that 1 point could make all the difference, guys. So it really is important that you don't lose potential points. So with that being said, that is my top 5 games of the week. and I'm really excited for them. I think, like I said, they all have high stakes. They all have playoff seeding implications potentially. I mean, it's going to be loaded. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be exciting. And quite frankly, while it's a little scary because of all the close matchups, this one I'm feeling very confident on. I think that we're going to see that. I think I might go 5 for 5 this week on my games. I'm feeling pretty confident, and so I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe 4 for 5. The minimum is 4 for 5. I think I'm going 5 for 5 this week. I'm feeling really good about it. So now let's look at the rest of the Week 11 slate and what I got going for you guys on those predictions. Number 1, Jets, Pats. I'm recording this on Thursday, coming out on Friday. Yes, the Patriots are winning right now. I would have picked the Patriots to win anyways for the record. So my official prediction is New England Patriots to beat the Jets. I have no reason to believe that the Jets have a chance. Then, Commanders, Dolphins. This one's interesting because the Commanders simply have been disappointing this year. There's been no way around it. At this point, it's a problem. Miami, coming off a big blowout win, scoring 30 points. I think the Commanders win, though. I think they have the culture. I think they have the players still to be able to eke out a win against Miami. Excuse me. Next one, Packers, Giants. I have the Packers winning this game, mostly because the Packers are just better, but also they cannot afford to lose 3 straight. If they lose 3 straight games, if they lose to a Jameis Winston-led Giants team, not Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston is starting this game. And we all know Jameis, he'll pop off for a game once a year. So if this is a game where that happens and the Packers lose, at that point, I'm sorry, I might have to write the Packers off. Not about missing the playoffs, but at this point, nah, they're not going to the Super Bowl. So, big game for them. Can't afford to lose 3 straight. And then Texans, they have not. Titans, no. I'm not picking them to win another game this year. Made that clear. Although this game will be a little bit closer because CJ Stroud isn't playing and also Titans off their bye and they're at home. In theory, you would think this game is going to be a lot closer, and I think it will be closer than their first meeting where the Titans got blown out 26-0. Then, Chargers, Jaguars, another potentially close matchup. Give me the Chargers right now. Jacksonville, either they look really good one week or they look very mind-boggling the next. Talking about like last week against Houston, and the Chargers kind of have themselves a little bit of momentum brewing. Yeah, they're on the road, but something tells me that the Chargers are going to come out with this win. I have more faith in the Chargers winning than I do Jacksonville, so give me LA right now. And then the one that missed the top 5, the one that missed it, Bucks, Bills. I have the Bills winning this game, and because I have an itching feeling that this game could be a blowout. Something tells me in my gut that this might not be as close of a game as people might think. It very well might be, and I hope it doesn't come back to bite me. But I think Buffalo, everything right now is lining up for them to probably beat the Bucks by 17 plus. I think it's all right there. I mean, the Bills defense is playing great. The Bucks are injured. Their defense has problems going up against the best quarterback and best running back, arguably in the NFL right now. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Jonathan Taylor is de facto the best. I take that back. But James Cook, in terms of rushing offense, the Bills doesn't get much better than Buffalo. So it's a very tall order and one that I don't think the Bucs are currently equipped to be able to take care of. And then Bengals Steelers. Give me Pittsburgh to win this game. Just because this is going to be interesting for sure, because Joe Flacco is playing really good football for the most part in Cincy. And for Pittsburgh, they lost awfully against the Chargers, the one that I thought that the Steelers would win. They lost 25-10, and they need to score more points, and it's going to probably be a high-scoring one for sure. So Pittsburgh's offense is going to need to step up. Pittsburgh's defense is going to really need to step up in this game, which I have my doubts. But I think ultimately who's going to come walking away, I think it's going to be Pittsburgh back at home. And then 49ers Cardinals, give me the 49ers. Right now the Cardinals are in shambles. They're a little bit better with Jacoby Brissett starting, but that doesn't change my opinion that the 49ers are going to come away with the win. And then Ravens Browns, give me the Ravens to win 3 straight games against an inferior football team. But upset watch. Every year Cleveland plays Baltimore a little close when they're at home. It's a very interesting development. It's a very interesting thing that you look at where the Browns are one of these games every year always just kind of give the Ravens a little bit of trouble. So if they can slow down Baltimore a little bit, make things interesting, if they pull off the upset here, that would most certainly put their playoff hopes on life support at that point. So very big upset watch in a divisional game where Cleveland tends to play Baltimore closely in this situation. And then lastly, on Monday Night Football, Raiders, Cowboys, give me the Cowboys. Cowboys, even though I don't know what to make of them, I know what to make of the Raiders, and that is they are garbage. And so give me Dallas to win this game in a convincing fashion. I don't think the Raiders stand much of a chance. So that being said, that's going to do it for my Week 11 predictions. Do you guys think your team will win? Will they lose? What do you guys think will happen with your favorite team? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Next thing, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the SHOUTOUT, getting everybody locked in and locked on to the channel. Please, please, please do. We're trying to reach 500 subscribers before the end of the 2025 regular season. Please do. It would help me out a lot. So appreciate it. Lastly, make sure you follow me on social media, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, as we continue to try and build a community here on the SHOUTOUT. But that is going to do it for me. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, I will see you all next time.